Okay, fine. So I was going to write the agenda, but then I'll write it after you respond. Okay, so we are going to start, or we'll start discussing about VHDL modeling of sequential systems. Now I want answers from you. Can you give examples of sequential systems starting from the simplest to more complex?
Sir, one bit memory element.
So
One bit,
counter.
Memory element.
one bit memory element. Okay. Can you give the technical name of this one bit memory element?
Sir, latch.
Latch.
Which latch? Be specific. Yeah, one bit memory element technically called as latch. That's okay. Fine. Now my another question to you is that if I want to design a state machine and this state machine goes through different states. Obviously I'm speaking about FSM, finite state machine. So if I have to design this state machine using counter method, then which flip-flop will you use for design?
Sir, D flip flop.
Correct. Why D flip-flop, Chandan? Why the
Sir,
choice
it's
is
hold
D
value,
flip-flop?
no?
Yeah.
It holds value for some
No,
time.
my question is from the design point of view.
Sir, it has only two states.
No, every flip-flop has two states. See, if I know that I have to implement a state machine using counter method and I have to use, up counters, and if a choice is given to me that you can choose a flip-flop by yourself, then I am having a variety. I can use an SR flip-flop, I can use a master slave JK flip-flop, I can use a T flip-flop, I can use a D flip-flop also. So why D flip-flops are the best choice when you want to design using flip-flops? Why? Yes, why designing systems using D flip-flops is the easiest. Okay, a
Sir,
hint.
because they simply follow the input, sir.
Very good. You are coming close to the answer. I want specific answer. Can you answer in terms of how many inputs that particular flip-flop has?
Sir, D and a clock.
Inputs. See, clock is the trigger. Don't get confused. Clock
Sir,
is
only
not
one input,
specific.
sir.
Yeah. So how many
So
data
only one
inputs
input.
does? Yeah, one. Correct.
Yes,
So
sir.
SR and MSJK flip-flops have two inputs, S and R, J and K. Okay. But D flip-flop has only one input. And as you told that it follows, the output follows the input, right? Correct.
Yes, sir.
So that is why if if I'm going to design a system which is represented by 3 bits, then I'm going to use 3 flip-flops. And if I know the next state and I know the present state, then if I want to design using flip-flops, then I'm going to write what is called as a state table, if you remember. And a state table, the first columns will be present state and next state. So if for example, if my next state is 1 and the previous state is 0, then I just need to apply 1 at the D input, and as soon as the positive or negative edge comes at the flip-flop, my output will become 1. That means what? The number of inputs which are required in the excitation table reduces, the number of K-maps to be solved also reduces. Do you get me? That is why D flip-flops are the best choice, because the number of K-maps which you have to solve reduces by a factor of 2 compared to SR and JK. Okay, this is from the design point of view. Fine. So the answer is
Sir,
a D
can
latch.
you please repeat?
Pardon?
Sir, can you please repeat that? There's a network issue, so I couldn't hear it.
Okay, so my thing was that whenever we want to design a finite state machine, and if you want to use the counter method, and you know that counters are nothing but they are a cascading of flip-flops. So if I am asked that you have the freedom of choosing any flip-flop which you want, then I have to choose between SR, JK, D and T. Getting me? So if I know that my output is simply going to toggle every clock cycle, then I am going to use a T flip-flop. Okay. So it's very simple. So T flip-flop is nothing but J and K inputs are short circuited, that short circuited input is called as T, and when I put T equal to 1, it becomes a T flip flop, right? So T flip flop is a modified JK flip flop. Now if I want to design FSMs, what I do is that I have a concept of Qn plus 1 and Qn, that is next state and previous state. So if I know that my next state bit is 1 and my present state is 0, then a very simple way to convert present state 0 to next state 1, and if I'm going to use a D flip flop, then if I simply apply D equal to 1, then as soon as the active edge of the clock arrives, my output will become 1. As you told that the input is propagated to the output after 1 clock cycle. That is why when we speak about designing, then we have to solve lesser number of K maps if I use D flip flop as a building block of my system. Getting me na? So D flip flop is actually a flip flop of choice when you want to design finite state machines. Okay. So when I say VHDL modeling of sequence systems, so till now, which are the systems that you have designed or modeled? So we have designed AND gate, you know, if I simply change the keyword A and D to OR, it becomes an OR gate. Then, you know, we designed this thing that is 2:1 mux. Okay, we also designed this. Okay, so we have designed logic gates, mux, and even decoders. So all of you know that logic gates, multiplexers, and decoders are examples of combinational digital systems. Okay. So can somebody tell what is the difference between combination system and sequential system?
So sequential
So
systems
sequential
contain a
depends
memory
of
element.
No. Your answer is not
so
specific.
sequential systems are working on clock.
So combinational plus memory equal to sequential. That is what our answer is. It's a more specific answer. You have to answer this question depending upon output Y is a function of what. Okay. Now answer, define combination systems in terms of the dependency of their outputs.
So they depend only on present inputs.
Wonderful. So for combinational system, Y is a function of only present input. What about sequential systems?
So present inputs
Present
and
inputs.
past
Very
inputs,
good.
also past outputs.
Previous output. This is the answer. You know why I'm asking you a question? I want to judge you. Recently or currently, we are conducting interviews for some fresh recruits in Department of ENTC. So last 2 days we have been interviewing candidates, and principal sir comes in our panel, and every candidate he asks the same question. If any candidate says that, sir, I have taught digital electronics and I know digital electronics very nicely, the first question which principal sir asks is, can you tell me the difference between sequential and combination systems? And very few people answer this question, that in sequential system output is a function of both present input and previous output. This is actually the understanding, and this understanding is also seen in the block diagram. Okay. Anyways, fine. So combinational and sequential systems, right? So we have already done the VHDL modeling of logic gates, multiplexers, decoders, full adders, etc. And all of them are examples of combo systems. Okay, the simplest example of a sequential system is a D latch. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Can you tell the next level? Little more complex than a D latch?
Shift registers, sir.
No, something in before that. It is a category of D, but then the latch is replaced by something.
Flip flop.
Very
D
good. So
flip
it's a
flop.
D flip flop. Okay. So now, as I told you that you can combine flip flops to make counters, is it not?
Counters.
Yeah. You can also combine flip flops to make shift registers, is it not? You can also combine flip-flops to make, is it not? So D latch, D flip-flop, counters, shift registers, and memories. So we can write VHDL models for these five systems, and then we can have a coding practice, right? So we will start with the VHDL modeling of D latch. Then we will convert that D latch into D flip-flop, and then we will go on to model counters, shift registers, and memories. Shift register is one of the university assignments also. Okay, and memories also, right? So shift register and memory are a part of SPPU assignments, but D latch, D flip-flop, and counters are not, but we can always practice them. Okay. So my next discussion is this, which is, I can say, fundamental. So yesterday only, I don't want to criticize anybody, but one candidate which came for an interview, that candidate was a PhD holder from some university near Delhi, Faridabad. So that candidate has recently finished a PhD on implementing the 32-bit RISC microcontroller on an FPGA and power analysis and operating frequency, etc. So then I thought that I don't know what question I can ask to a PhD candidate, because I am not a PhD. But that candidate told that I am good at digital electronics. So I thought that let me ask a fundamental question. And this is the question which I asked that candidate. Let me see if your fundamentals are more clearer than that candidate. Okay, so please read this very carefully. It's very important. Only if you know this difference can actually you write a VHDL model. Okay, my question to you is, what are the differences between a D latch and a D flip flop? Yeah, anybody apart from Yash and Chandan? Yeah, who can tell me this D latch versus D flip flop? Okay, so you have to tell me the differences based on the block diagrams and the functionality and the waveforms. Okay, so what I will do is that I will write D latch here and I will write a D flip flop here. Okay, let us start. See, because ultimately we have to do VHDL coding of D latch and D flip flop. Our correct starting point is the block diagram. Okay, so now you are going to tell me block diagram. So I will make the black box. Help me put all the signals outside the block diagram for D latch and D flip flop. Yeah, fast. Yes. Tell me that a D latch block diagram should contain what, so that we can write a VHDL model for that. Similarly for D flip flop. Yes, fast. Yes. What are the differences between D latch and a D flip flop?
Sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
I doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt that D latch is a sequential circuit, because D latch using it does not have any memory also, and it does not use any clock also. So I think it is a combination.
My dear friend, we have unanimously accepted that D latch is a sequential system.
But
And
sir, it does not
because another, so one word name for 1-bit memory element is a latch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anything which remembers a binary value, it is sequential. We already told that any system which has memory or whose output depends upon both present input and previous output is actually sequential system. Got the point?
Sir,
Huh?
but yes, sir,
Yeah.
you're correct. But sir, it is using just feedback. It does not
Feedback
have any
means
clock.
memory. Feedback means memory. You take feedback from output side to input side, right? And output
Yes,
side,
sir.
yeah. So when you take a feedback from output side to input side, that feedback connection itself represents a memory. Correct?
Okay, sir.
Multiplexer, AND gate, decoder. In that case, till select line doesn't change, output doesn't change, right? Getting me, na? So select line is one set of inputs to multiplexer, and those 8 inputs of multiplexer. I0 to I7 is the first set of input to multiplexer, and second set of inputs to multiplexer is the select lines, right? So output of the multiplexer will change in two cases. First is select line combination remains constant, but the inputs change. Okay. Second case, inputs are remaining constant, but select lines changes. Again, output will change. And if both select lines and inputs change, the output will change, right? So we see that here, there is no relationship between next state of output and the previous state of output. Is it not? That is why we say that multiplexers, decoders, and logic gates are examples of combo systems, because output changes only when the input changes. It is having no relationship with what was the output state before some time. But as you said that, sir, in D latch, we are having a feedback. The feedback is from output side to input side. That is why there comes a dependence on the previous output. Is it okay, Shivam? Correct?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
So
but if
D
I
latch.
connect in multiplexer also, if I connect output to one of the select lines, so it becomes feedback only.
My
And
dear
here
friend,
also,
my dear friend, multiplexer functionality does not define a connection between output and input. Got the point, na?
okay, sir.
Okay, I got you correctly, Shivam. Yeah, that is my third point actually. So the third agenda for the day is this thing: how to convert a combination system into sequence system. There exactly I'm going to do this thing only. That I'm going to connect the output of the multiplexer as one of the inputs to the mux. In that case, you are correct. That system will become a D latch. Agreed. Shivam, you are correct. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so you are correct that I can convert a 2:1 multiplexer into a D latch simply by connecting the output to one of the inputs. I correct. Okay, and we will justify that also. Okay, thank you very much. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So now the block diagrams for D latch and D flip flop. Tell me. So I will write an acceptable entity name inside as DL, and here I will write it as DFF. Come on, fast. This is what you studied in second year.
So
I'm not.
input D for
Yeah.
latch.
Very good.
Input
Wonderful.
D.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Whatever is correct has to be written. Okay. D. Wonderful. Yes. Next.
And enable signal.
Very good. So this is active high enable or active low enable?
Active
Active. And it is our choice, na?
high. Na?
It can be anything. Yeah. What about
Yeah, it
output?
depends on
What is output? Name as
output. Only one output.
Q. Okay. Correct.
Or
This is the correct block diagram of a D latch. It has data input D. It has an enable which can be active high or active low, and one output Q. Very good. Now help me with the block
then
diagram of D flip flop. Yes.
data input.
Same as D latch. Wonderful. Next.
Clock.
Very good. So positive is triggered or negative is triggered?
It depends on us.
Yeah. So how do I represent a negative is triggered flip flop, Chandan?
So there is dot, I guess, at the end.
Sir, triangle and a circle is there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. CLK. What about output?
Q.
Very good. You see here, clearly we are seeing that the only difference between the block diagram of a D latch and a D flip flop is the trigger. You see here? So enable and clock. Okay. So don't say, sir, yes. The trigger to the D latch is called as EN enable, and the trigger to D flip flop is called as CLK. Is there only an alphabetic difference between the triggers?
No, sir. It is level. Latch is level triggered, and
Very
it
good.
flip flop is edge triggered.
Very good. So a latch is a level triggered system and flip flop is an edge triggered system. Okay. Now from Viva viewpoint, I will write a line which will help you remember that how to remember what enables a clock. So I will say for latch, enable is enable, and for flop, clock is enable. Okay, there is a rhyming here. Flop, clock. Little bit rhyming is there. Okay. So for a latch, enable is enable. For a flop, clock is enable. Okay. Please remember this. So flop, clock, latch, enable. Okay. And as they told that latch is a level triggered system and flop is a edge triggered system. That means what? That the enable window is a level here and an enable window is here. Okay. So we can summarize this thing as So now what happened is that yesterday in the interview to this same PhD candidate, I asked a question that what is the difference between latch and a flip-flop. So the candidate got confused. So I told, okay, I will give you a hint. I reframed my question like this, that if I give the same data sequence to D latch and D flip-flop, then will the outputs be same or different? So the candidate told that they will be same. Then I told no, it is wrong. Then the candidate told no, it will be different. Then I told that, ask the candidate, okay, that if the outputs of flop and latch for same date input sequence is different, can you tell me why it is different? The answer expected was that because flop is edge triggered, it samples the value of D at the falling edge. And in case of a latch, as long as the enable is equal to 1, during that entire period, whatever are the changes in D are transferred to Q. Getting the point? That is why a difference comes in the output waveforms of a latch and a flip-flop for the same input sequence, right? So I will explain that to you. See here now. Okay. So we have a concept of sampling window. Okay. So in case of a latch, I can tell that in a D latch, since it is active high level triggered, I say that Q will be equal to D for enable equal to 1. Okay. So in this diagram, we see that enable bubble is not shown, so latch is active high enabled. That means what? As long as En equal to 1, all the changes in D will be transmitted to Q. Getting me? Na? So the D will be transmitted to Q. So the changes in D will be transmitted to Q as long as En equal to 1, and Q, and when En equal to 0, Q remembers itself. Okay. And here, okay, and for En equal to 0, I can say, so I can say Qn plus 1 equal to D, and for En equal to 0, Qn plus 1 equal to Qn. That is no change. Okay. In case of a flip-flop, what happens is that it is negative edge triggered. So when this edge will come, at that time, whatever is the value of D at the arrival of falling edge, Q will achieve it. Okay. Whatever is the value of data input D at the arrival of falling edge, will be transmitted to Q. Okay. So I can say that for D latch, we have sampling interval. The sampling interval is En equal to 1. Okay, so the entire time interval for which En remains equal to 1, that is called sampling interval. For D latch, we have sampling interval, and for D flip flop, we have sampling instant. And this sampling instant is nothing but falling edge of the clock. Okay. So based on these two rules, that latches, they respond to sampling intervals, and flip-flops respond to sampling instants. Okay. So now what we will do is that we will draw the waveforms. Okay. So we can say draw the output waveforms for D latch and D flip-flop for same input sequence. Okay, so what I will do is that first and foremost I will draw the input sequence and then we will see what is to be done. This is my D input given to both latch and flip-flop. Okay, say for example they don't stand here.
Why?
No, I'm getting disturbed.
Then can you sit here?
So I have a sequence for D, I have an enable signal also, and there is a clock also. Now I want to draw what are the outputs for latch and flip-flop. D latch and last waveform is for D flip-flop. Okay, now based on these two principles, that for D latch we have sampling interval. So the input sequence is transmitted to the output Q only as long as En equal to 1, and for a D flip-flop the value of input D is sampled at the arrival of falling edge of the clock, that is transmitted. Apart from that, it is remembered. Yes, now I am zoom in. Yeah, tell me, how do I draw the waveforms for output of D latch? Yes.
Sir, when enable is I directly copy the portion of D.
Yeah, so what we will do is that we will mark the enabling instance. Okay, yeah, okay, so this is the response window. Okay, so D latch, what will happen, the D latch will transmit all the changes between these 2 points to the output, and apart from that it will not transmit. Okay, is it clear? So the enable from this, so from this point to this point, whatever are the changes in input, they will be transmitted, and after that will not be transmitted. Okay, so again the response window will start here. Okay, so as I told you that we have to mark the sampling interval for latch. For flip-flop, what is the case? What is the case for flip-flop?
So for the falling edge of clock,
Yeah, so I
they
have
will
to
be
mark,
calculated.
yeah, so we have to mark the sampling instance. So in order to draw the output waveform of D flip-flop, I have to mark the sampling instants, right? So the first, all falling as a sampling instant. Sampling instant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So for D flip-flop output waveform, we have to mark the sampling instants, and for D latch, we have to mark the sampling interval. Okay. So based on this particular concept, what I will do is that I will draw this. Okay. So what I will do, whatever changes, right? So can you tell me that if I assume that D latch and D flip-flop are having a reset facility, that means the output of D latch and D flip-flop can be assumed to be 0 because they are having a reset facility, right? Now tell me what will happen here in case of a D latch. Is the D latch enabled immediately after t equal to 0?
No, sir.
It is not
No.
there, right? So D flip-flop is getting enabled at this instant. Okay, so it is enabled from this instant to this instant, and again it becomes enabled from this instant henceforth, right? So the output, so because it is not enabled, so the thing is that the input is equal to 1 at t equal to 0, the input is equal to 1, but because enable is equal to 0, this input will not be transmitted to output. So what will happen till the enable signal arrives, the output will be equal to 0. So it will continue till 0 here. Okay, and what will happen that, see now what are the changes. So from this point, to this point, whatever is the input will be transmitted, right? So 1, 0, continue here, again 1, again it will become 0. Okay, right, like this. Okay, and now it is following, right? Now can you tell me at this instant input is becoming 1, will that 1 be transmitted to the output?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No. Yeah, so there is a change in the input at this instant, but because enable is 0, so that is why what is happening, it is blocked. So it will continue like this to the previous, it is remembering. So it had 0, it remembers 0 till this point, right? And here again it gets enabled at this instant. What is the value? It's 1. So it will again follow this thing. Okay, like this. Okay, and here should I bring it down or should I continue here?
Sir, bring it down.
Bring it down, yeah, because it is still enabled, so it will follow it. Okay, okay, it will follow. This is the waveform for D latch. Now let us draw the waveform for D flip-flop, right? So I will sample here. Okay, so assuming same thing that D flip-flop has a reset facility before t equal to 0. So at t equal to 0, it is made 0. So now here, okay, now this is coming. What is the value at the first sampling instant? What is the value of input? It is 1. So I'll mark everything like this. Mark everything like this. These are the sampling instants. Yeah. So till the falling edge comes, it remembers. So its previous state was 0. So it will remember like this. Okay. At this instant, it is getting 1. So it will go to 1. Okay. And then it will continue to remain 1 till the arrival of next falling edge. So next falling edge has come. Now at this edge again it is sampled. So what is the sampled value at the second falling edge?
0, sir.
0. So it will come down. So the flip-flop output will change or it may not change at every falling edge, right? So it will go here. And now again falling edge is gone. So now it will continue like this. It will go till here. At this instant, what is the value? It is getting a 1. Okay, here. Very good. Now as soon as the next falling edge arrives, what is the value? Next falling edge, it is again 1, right? So it will continue like this till the next falling edge. Next falling edge, it is 0. Come down, again continue to the next falling edge. It is getting a 1 here. Okay, it's getting a 1 here. Again continue, next falling edge, it is getting a 0 here. Okay, please note that the input is becoming 0 at this instant. Okay, so the input has become 0 at this instant, but because at that instant the falling edge hasn't arrived, that is why it continues. Are you able to see a clear-cut difference in the output waveforms of D latch and D flip-flop? It's very clear.
Yes,
So
sir.
the same input sequence is given, but because D latch is level triggered and because flip-flop is edge triggered, that is why there is a difference in waveforms. Any questions? Any questions till now? No. Okay, so this was the main difference between D latch and a D flip flop. Now we are interested in doing the modeling. So now we go to Shivam Upadhyay's point that, sir, I feel that D latch is actually a combination system. So we'll come to his point now. See, very clear that can I use a combination system to realize a sequential system? Okay, the answer we will get after some time. Okay, so now I want to realize a D latch using a suitable combinational system. Okay, so D latch and truth table. So enable Qn plus 1. Okay. So it is active I enabled. So if En equal to 0, Qn, that is 1 for D. Okay, so if En equal to 1, then D is transmitted to output. If it is 0, then output remembers itself. Okay, now see here. Shivam told that we can use a 2:1 mux. Fine. So till now we have been drawing multiplexers in this way. Let me tell you that it is not standard. Okay. If I ask you that please draw the block diagram of multiplexer, this is what we do. Sir, first input is called as I0. Second input is called as I1. The select line is called as S. And the output is called as Y. This is what we have been drawing. But please understand one thing, that this is not a standard symbol of multiplexer. The standard symbol for multiplexer is this. This is called as the ANSI symbol, American National Standards Institute for multiplexer. It is the ANSI symbol of MUX. You don't write I0, you don't write I1, you don't write Y. This diagram, this symbol itself indicates, this symbol indicates that when you connect this line to 0, this comes outside, and when you connect this line to 1, okay, this is sent to the output. Okay, this indicates S equal to 0. So when S equal to 0, then whatever you apply here, if you apply 0 here, 0 comes. If you apply 1 here, 1 comes here. Similarly, this says that when select line is equal to 1, that means when you connect this line to VCC, whatever is here comes to the output. Okay, so if this line is connected to VCC, if here I have 1, 1 comes outside. If here I have 0, 0 comes outside. Very simple. Okay, that is why henceforth we are not going to use this particular block diagram to represent a multiplexer. Okay, so I will be using an ANSI symbol of mux to convert it into a D latch. Very simple. Okay, so now I will draw the multiplexer again and draw the truth table. 0, 1. Okay, but because I want to make the truth table, I will actually have to write I0, I1 and S. Okay, so now I write down S, I write down Y, I0 and I1. Okay, and according to this functionality, my truth table is very simple. S and Y. When S is 0, Y is I0, S is 1, Y1. Okay, this is the functionality. Now what I do is this. Okay, so I connect the output Y to I0 here. Okay, so now can you tell me what will be the modified truth table?
So 0 will be Y. For
Yeah,
0
just
will be Y.
a minute. Just a minute. Let me write and then you can tell me. Okay. So modified truth table is S and Y. Yes, tell me now. So if S is 0, what will be the output?
Sir,
Y.
yn minus 1, previous y.
Yeah, it's Y only basically. Okay. It is a feedback, na? So it will
Yes.
go on like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay. If it is 1, what is it? Correct? If select line is 1, I1 comes outside. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I will do is that instead of I1, I will connect D here, and instead of S, I will have enable here. Okay. So now again, so now you see here. So my new modification is that S equal to En and I1 equal to D. Okay. So E and Y. Okay. So now Y becomes Q. Third modification is that Y is equal to Q. Okay. So S becomes En and Y becomes Q. And now functionality remains the same. So if En is equal to 0, I get Q. So 1, I get D. Okay. What is the truth table now? See here. Compare the truth tables now. Same. Okay. En 0, 1, Qn and D. Okay. Very simple. So this is how. So we can conclude safely that a 2:1 mux with feedback is a D latch. Can you tell me that this modified multiplexer, is it a active high enabled D latch or active low enabled D latch? My question to
Active
you is
high
that
enable, sir.
this modified multiplexer, is it an active high enabled D latch or active low enabled D latch? When does it act as a D latch? When does it respond? When does output respond to the input? When En equal to 1. That is why
Yes, sir.
it is active high enabled. Okay. So we can have two versions. Now can you help me to make a multiplexer based D latch with active low enable? So I can say multiplexer based D latch with active low enable. Okay. That is my truth table is like this, En Q. Okay, I can say Qn plus 1. Okay, so in our case, it will be 0 D 1 Qn. How do I do that? I simply change the feedback position. Okay, so okay, is it correct? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in this particular thing, again, if I want to reanalyze it, so what I will do, I will put En equal to 0, n equal to 1. So when En equal to 0, what will happen? This guy will get selected. So D comes at the output. So it is D. When this guy is equal to 1, this gets selected and it becomes Qn, right? So simply by changing where you give feedback, whether to the 0th input of multiplexer or 1th input, depending upon that, it will decide whether it's active high enable or active low enable. Okay, this was a very important clarification from my side. That is, what are the differences between D latch and D flip flop? And third important concept we discussed was, can I convert a combo system to a sequence system? Yes, I can do that. Somebody may say, sir, why are you discussing all these things? Because I will show you something. Okay. These are some examples for VHDL modeling practice, out of which we have done something. So 4:1 mux we have done 4:1 mux with enable. If somebody has understood the concept of enable, in fact I have done this also. I have added an enable. So we have done 4:1 mux with enable is just a modification. 3:8 decoder we have done. Now I'll flash to you 74LS138 pinout diagram. Okay. This is the pinout diagram of 74LS138. It is basically a decoder. We see here the 8 outputs, Y0 to Y7. The three inputs ABC. So I2, I1 and I0. The outputs Y0 to Y7. And this particular chip has 3 chip enables, G2A bar, G2B bar and G1 is active high. So what VHDL modeling we have done for 3:8 decoder had the same functionality, but there was no enable pin in that particular model. So we can put a 3-bit enable by defining a bus as CS. That I have done, but I'll not show you to. I will leave it to the student for practice. Okay. Yes. So ALU is the first SPP assignment. D latch, D flip flop we discussed now. The next thing which we are going to do is to write a VHDL model for a D latch using if statement. Okay. We'll also see what happens if I use an incomplete if in a VHDL model. So by default, if you use incomplete ifs, that means ifs in which the next possible state is not given. That is, for example, if I'm telling if s equal to 0, then y gets I0, else y gets I1. This is called as a complete if statement. But instead of this, if I write down if s equal to 0, then y gets I0 end if. So I don't define only what is to be done if the second value or next possible value of select line, that is called incomplete if. So incomplete if statements, they lead to latches which are not acceptable because latches introduce unnecessarily delay in the circuit, which brings down the maximum operating frequency of the system. Then we have D flip flop. Then modifications are there. D flip flop with reset and preset. Then we have 3-bit up counter, then 3-bit down counter, 3-bit up counter and down counters with asynchronous reset preset, and a modified version, the same counters with synchronous reset preset. And for practice, 4-bit up down counter with synchronous, right? So we have separate up and down counters plain with no reset preset. Then we have up counters and down counters with asynchronous reset preset. The next modification is up and down counters with synchronous preset reset. And we have one counter in which both there is an up and down counter facility. The next set of coding examples which I have designed is using structural modeling style. So full adder using half adder as component. This is already taken in the class and we have done the synthesis and simulation also. So full adder using half adder as component, 4:1 mux using 2:1 mux as a component, 16:1 using 4:1 already discussed in the last class. 7483 4-bit binary adder using SMS. That is structural modeling style. 3-bit asynchronous counter using SMS. 2:1 mux using SMS. Okay, that you already. So 2:1 mux using SMS and 16:1 using 4:1 and full adder using half adder. These three models have already been done in the class. Logic gates using mux. So next concept comes how to convert multiplexers into logic gates can be discussed. Okay, so once we learn how to convert a multiplexer, so there is a generic algorithm which tells how to convert a multiplexer into any one of the 7 gates, that is NAND, NOR, NOT, AND, OR, XOR and XNOR. We will study that. Once we learn that, then if we have written the VHDL model for a multiplexer, we can simply change that particular architecture body so that that multiplexer now starts functioning as one of the logic gates. NOT gate using NAND and NOR as component. Okay, it's very simple. Can anybody tell how can I convert NAND or NOR gate into a NOT gate? This is a second year question. How can I convert NAND and NOR gate as NOT gates?
Sir, short the two inputs.
Yes, so when I short circuit the inputs of NAND or NOR gates, it starts acting as a NOT gate. So this particular thing appears to be very simple on paper, but then we should learn how to convert that into a VHDL model. And 4-bit PRBS. So 4-bit PRBS using SMS is a very challenging kind of an assignment. If you have actually learned SMS properly, then you should be able to do this. This we ask in the university practical exam, which is not a part of the university syllabus. Okay, so you should know all these things. Okay, yeah. So we know what is the functionality of a D latch here. It's here. Okay, so entity name, input D, enable Q. Based on this, I can write the entity declaration. Based on the truth table, I can add architecture body. Okay, so library statements, assume that it is written. Entity DL is port. Two inputs are there. Both of them are single bit. So EN, D. Architecture, entity name underscore arch of entity name is. Now I'm supposed to write something, but I'll not write it now. I want to do some mistake in the model now. Okay, so it's very simple. My truth table says that if En equal to 0, let output remember itself, and if it is 1, let it be D. Okay, so I will use behavioral modeling style. So I will say process, and in the sensitivity list, I have to write down all the inputs, that is DN, EN, D, and then I have begin. And as I told you that we can use if then else clause embedded within the concurrent clause. So I will just say that if En equal to zero, then so it is active I enabled, so En equal to 0, so I can say Q is assigned Q. Okay, and I will say else. So when I say else, I'm referring to what is to be done when En equal to 1. So I will say else Q is assigned D, and I will say end space if end space process, and I will say end architecture. Okay. So there is a error in this program, and I want somebody to tell me what is the error. Yeah, there is a fundamental rule which has been broken by me while writing this behavior of the D latch. Okay, so I have written if En equal to 0, then output should remember itself. So I have told if En equal to 0, then Q gets Q. Okay, it's something like telling this thing. Okay, Q gets Q. Okay, so feedback, and else Q gets D. What is the problem in this code? Yes. Can anybody point out the fundamental mistake done by me? There is no mistake in the entity declaration, but there is a mistake in the architecture body. Yes, students, answer.
Sir, Q should be in the process sensitivity list.
Yes, the rule is sensitivity list contains the list of signals on which output is dependent. That is a rule of the language. You may say, sir, because it is a sequential system, so output, the next state output depends upon previous state of output. That is correct theoretically, but this particular thing is not allowed in the language. You understand? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so your demand is correct because it's a sequential system in which the next state output depends upon both present state input and previous output. So present state input is D. Enable is another present state input. So as such, theoretically, as per definition of sequence circuit, I am supposed to put comma Q, but language does not allow it. Language says only input signals can be written here, and all of them. What is the problem here? The problem here is this. I already told you that in case of assignment operator, to the left of assignment operator, I can add only output signal, and to the right of assignment operator, I can write only input signals. Can you tell me which statement this rule is violated?
So the Q is assigned to Q.
Yes, that is a problem here. So the language says that to the left of assignment operator, there can be outputs. Yes, correct. Q is defined as output, right? But the problem is this thing. To the right side of this particular assignment operator, I cannot write output signal. So what I've done is basically output is assigned output. This is not allowed in language. So what I do is that to circumvent this problem, I use dummy signals here. Okay. So what I will do, I'll be defining a dummy signal in this way here. Okay, so I will say signal space signal name. So my dummy signal is called as qtemp. Signal space signal name colon data type. Okay, and now because a dummy signal does not have any definition of input and output, have I written in and out here? Have I written?
No,
I have not
sir.
written. I have written signal space, signal name, colon, data type. So qtemp has not been defined as input and output at all. So what I do is this, is that I write down Q is assigned. In fact, I cannot write that. In fact, I cannot write down Q also here. I have to write down qtemp gets qtemp. I have to write down qtemp gets qtemp. And then here again instead of Q. So I'll not be using the final output Q inside the process at all. I'll be playing around with only qtemp. So then I'll write down qtemp gets qtemp, else qtemp gets D, and I will do something here which is very important and has to be done even in VHDL models for counters. Okay, let's see what I do. Okay, after coming out of the process and before exiting the architecture, I will be writing Q is assigned qtemp semicolon, and then I will say end architecture. Okay, this is a new thing which we have learned, especially for sequential systems like D latches, D flip flops, and counters, wherein we have to either have a change of state or there is no change of state. So no change in case of sequence systems is written as dummy signal is assigned dummy signal itself. So I have defined a dummy signal qtemp here. I have not defined it as input and output. That is why it does not, so it is not bound by the rule that to the right and left of this assignment operator I have to write down output and input signals. Okay, so if en equal to 0, qtemp gets qtemp. So this suffices the condition that qn plus 1 equal to qn, and then in the else I say qtemp gets D, end if end process, and after coming outside the process I will assign the dummy signals value to the final output q, and then I will do end architecture. Okay, somebody message आ रही है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. फ्राइडे की क्लास में हम एक्चुअली इसका प्रोग्राम लिखेंगे. We'll write the test bench also, and in the simulation when we get everything correct we'll come to the yes sir you are right. Okay, so we will write the VHDL model for D latch, and we'll also write the VHDL model for a multiplexer which is converted into a D latch. Okay, yeah.
Sir?
So we have yes.
Rather than using qtemp, if we do, if we set q as in out, then
या
will it
तो इसका आंसर मेरे पास है, लेकिन हम VHDL मॉडलिंग करने के टाइम करेंगे. ओके, सो चंदन यू रिमाइंड मी that on Friday we have to write VHDL model for a plain D latch. After that we will write a model for a multiplexer, and we will do this particular feedback connections inside it, modify it, and we'll try to see if we get the functionality of a D latch. And third thing is that in the first model for D latch we will not use qtemp, but we will define q as in out. Okay,
okay sir.
या हम करेंगे सिंथेसिस करेंगे, सिमुलेशन करेंगे. अगर उसमें सब कुछ पहले जैसा आया तो फिर आपके क्वेश्चन का आंसर है कि यस, a replacement to using qtemp as a dummy signal is to define q as in out signal. Okay, yeah, you remind me on Friday.
Okay sir.
Yeah.